And it's Ken Kraetzer for CaMMVetsMedia. We cover cadets, midshipmen, the military, and veterans proudly since 2008. And we are really pleased today to talk to coach of Army hockey, and that is Brian Riley. And coach won six straight. Tell us a little bit about your weekend out in Pittsburgh at Robert Morris.
Yeah, obviously, a great weekend for us when you can go on the road and pick up 6 points. Two wins. We knew it was going to be, tough hockey, and they're a good team. First night, we were able to get up on them, but the second night had a real playoff feel to it. It was 0-0, and going into the third, you just had a feeling whoever scored first was going to win that game. And obviously, we were able to get that goal with about, I don't know, 6.5 minutes to go. And like I said, we left there with two wins and 6 points. So really, really proud of our guys.
Your goaltender, JJ Cataldo, played well. He got goaltender of the week in your conference, and seems to just be growing and gaining confidence.
For sure. He's been really, really good for us. I tell people he just has this calming presence and goal, which we kind of feed off that. And he's only a freshman, but he has put us in a position to win games in the conference. I always say your goalies, they got to stop the ones they're supposed to and a couple other ones, and he's been doing that, right? So yeah, we're glad to have him.
And we talked to JJ after one of the Air Force games last weekend, and he's older than the average cadet at West Point. He's had a couple of stops along the way in junior hockey. Maybe you could talk a little bit about what that's like for players to go through juniors and then have a chance to go to
Yeah.
the academy.
Well, that's the thing about college hockey is this juniors that everybody goes and plays. Like the average age, I think, for Division I college hockey freshmen is 20 years old. So all of our guys have been away from home, some taking classes online to finish their high school careers. But yeah, it's something that's really kind of familiar in college hockey, but for everybody else, they kind of look at it like, wow, that's a little different. But definitely our plebes are older than the average plebe that comes in here, and our plebes have been away from home some 2 or 3 years before they get here.
Yeah, we talked to JJ a little bit about how he handled that academically, being away from the academic rigor of either a high school or being in college and then being thrown into West Point level classes.
Yeah, it's for our guys, uh, I think they come here and they make it through Beast and they're like, okay, life is good now. But then they get in that first day of classes, first 2 days, and they're like, oh my gosh. It's like they get punched right in the nose. But it takes them a little while to get acclimated, but they do. And I mean, this year, I think of our 30 guys, we 17 players are on the dean's list. So they definitely figure it out and do a good job in the classroom.
Well, that's terrific. Now, this Saturday and this weekend, you travel up to Canada to the Royal Military College in Kingston. I've been checking that route out to see if I can make it. It's gonna be a little cool up there. I guess they're used to it. Very
Yeah.
special rivalry. They were visiting West Point last year, and it was the 85th edition of this rivalry. Um, why is this so special? How did it originally start?
So it originally started with General MacArthur. Um, Thought it would be a good idea to get the two academies to play a hockey game. Um, and then it just has grown since then, the longest international rivalry in obviously in college sports. And uh, as a kid growing up here, watching my dad's team back then, Air Force didn't have a college hockey team. So RMC was the game, and it was at the end of the year, the last game of the year, and they would have a big reception on Friday night, play the game on Saturday, followed by a big dinner dance afterwards. So
Oh,
for me to grow up watching this series and then to have an opportunity to be part of it as an assistant coach and a head coach beyond my wildest dreams. And so with this being the last time, obviously for me going to Kingston, it'll bring back a lot of memories, not only coaching against RMC, but growing up as a kid watching the West Point RMC games.
Greg, what is it like to visit Royal Military College? How does it differ from West Point?
No, I mean it's a lot of the same history, tradition. Their campus isn't as big as ours, but like I said, you can feel the history and tradition uh, of the place when you walk on their campus. And so, um, it's right on the water up there. Like you said earlier, it's usually pretty cold. But Kingston is a beautiful town, and um, yeah, it's always special to be up there.
No, that's neat. We talked to Richard Lim, their coach, last time, and
Yeah.
it's how is college hockey different in Canada from the United States?
Well, they have they're in the Ontario University Association, OUA. Um, they have older players that have played in major juniors, and all those major junior players are now going to be eligible to play here in the States. So that's kind of what separated us. But they're I don't know how many teams that they have up there, but um, just like down here, they're very competitive, trying to play for a national championship. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of good players up there.
Yeah, well, it should be a great opportunity for your players to visit with the players from Royal Military College. Are they called cadets there, or do they have a different
Yeah,
name?
yep, yep. Their uniforms they're the red coats. You see them with the red, and they'll pack them in that building, and their whole campus will be at that game on Saturday. So it'll be us kind of against the world mentality up there, but I think that'll be good experience for our guys as we get ready to go out to Air Force. So to have kind of been through what we're going to go through out there, especially with so many young players, that this will be a good experience.
It should be a great trip for your team, a great college hockey experience. Just going to mention you're in fifth place in the American Hockey
Yeah.
America League, Atlantic Hockey America. I'm sorry, um, behind Sacred Heart, Niagara, Bentley, and Holy Cross. But how is that as a position as you're in sight of the playoffs?
Yeah, it's right now we're in a pretty good spot. Obviously, I saw something today where somebody had us picked 11th, somebody else 10th. So, um, you know what? Guys are playing well right now. They believe. But like when we come back from RMC, we play, Bentley for a game Tuesday and then Sacred Heart for two at home. Those are two of the top teams in the league. So we have a challenging schedule to say the least coming down the home stretch here. But if we can win a couple more games, then I think we'll be in a pretty good spot going into the playoffs.
Well, Coach Brian Riley, just want to wish you and your team a good trip up to Canada, Royal Military College. Should be quite experience, quite a great memory, and I'm sure there's a lot of memories there for you, and this will be another good one.
Absolutely. Always good talking to you, Ken.
Our pleasure. Ryan Riley, head coach of Army hockey. It's Ken Kraetzer for CaMMVetsMedia. We cover cadets, midshipmen, the military, and veterans proudly since 2008. Thanks for watching.